one of the most powerful devil fruits in the One Piece universe. The world government feared this fruit so much that they masked it as the paramecia-type gum-gum fruit. The fruit's true power grants the user the power of freedom. It also gives the user's body the properties of rubber, effectively making them a rubber human. Unlike most other devil fruits, its effects are always active, making the user's body permanently rubbery. The fruit enables all parts of the user's body, including organs, to behave like rubber. This allows actions normally impossible for a human body, such as pumping blood or inflating bones for extra speed and power. Because of rubber's natural insulating properties, the user is also immune to electrical attacks. Once awakened, the user undergoes a drastic transformation. Their hair and clothing turn white, their hair resembles flames, their eyebrows form spirals, and their eyes gain ringed pupils, with steam surrounding their body. In this state, the user can freely alter their body without needing to inflate bones or muscles. They can also affect their surroundings, turning objects and even elements like lightning into rubber. Uniquely, this power can extend to living beings, allowing the user to influence flesh as if it were rubber. It can even allow the creation or transformation of objects in highly unpredictable ways. This awakened form was named Gear 5 by Monkey D. Luffy, who was initially unaware of the fruit's true nature. In this state, his abilities become so absurd and adaptable that even Kaido was left stunned. The Chop Chop fruit allows the user to split their own body into pieces and levitate those pieces at will. It grants passive immunity to all slashes and cuts, making the user permanently immune to damage from being cut or pierced, regardless of the situation. Instead of being truly dismembered, all separated body parts remain under the user's full control. They can be freely manipulated for attacks or reattached at any time. The user can also split their body manually, without needing to be cut by an enemy. This is extremely useful in battle, allowing them to bypass defenses or avoid incoming attacks, as long as they see them coming. They can even survive while separated from vital body parts for extended periods. However, while immune to slashing and piercing attacks, the user is still vulnerable to other forms of damage, such as blunt force attacks like punches and kicks. This can be partially avoided by letting the affected body part fly off to reduce the impact. The Plume Plume fruit allows the user to generate, manipulate, and become smoke. Like most Logia-type devil fruits, the user can turn their body into smoke when attacked, allowing them to absorb hits and remain unharmed. The fruit also grants the ability to fly by transforming the body, or parts of it, into smoke, greatly increasing mobility and speed. Its main offensive strength comes from controlling the density of the smoke. The user can surround enemies with smoke and then solidify it to trap or restrain them. The smoke can also be used as a blunt weapon, striking opponents with significant force. When interacting with fire, the two may cancel each other out due to having similar properties. Aside from that, no clear natural weakness has been shown. This was the first Logia-type devil fruit introduced in One Piece. The Smooth fruit makes the user's body perfectly smooth and slippery. Attacks and objects slide off harmlessly, making the user extremely difficult to hit. As a side effect, all excess body fat slips off, leaving the user with a much slimmer and slick appearance. Despite this change, the user retains their full strength. This transformation appears to be permanent, as it does not revert even when a user comes into contact with sea stone, which normally negates devil fruit powers. While the fruit makes the user nearly untouchable, they are not completely invincible. Certain abilities, such as restraint techniques, can still affect them. For example, Smoker was able to capture the user despite the fruit's effects. The Kilo fruit allows the user to change their body weight anywhere between 1 and 10,000 kilograms, without changing their size. This gives the user the ability to switch between feather-light agility and crushing force at will. At the minimum weight of 1 kilogram, the user becomes light enough to float with the wind, often using an umbrella for controlled movement. At the maximum weight of 10,000 kilograms, the user can drop down with immense force, crushing enemies or shattering the ground beneath them. Even at extreme weights, the user can move normally and they take little to no damage from the impact of their own descent. With reduced weight, the user can easily evade attacks by floating out of range. However, this fruit is considered inferior to the Ton fruit, which allows the user to reach even greater weights. The bomb fruit allows the user to turn any part of their body into a bomb: limbs, hair, even a sneeze. Each explosion leaves the user completely unharmed, effectively turning them into a living arsenal. The fruit also grants immunity to all explosions, including powerful blasts like cannon fire. The user can even judge the strength and quality of explosions. These explosions can be triggered at will or activated through contact, allowing for both direct and surprise attacks. The flower fruit allows the user to bloom extra limbs or entire body parts from any surface. They can summon hands, eyes, ears, or even full-body duplicates, often appearing with petal-like effects, making the ability both beautiful and overwhelming in combat. Since only the user knows where the limbs will appear, they almost always have the element of surprise. Combined with its long range and near-instant activation, the fruit can affect multiple opponents at once. Offensively, it excels in grappling, restraining, and crushing attacks. Defensively, the user can create shields, traps, or barriers using multiple limbs. The ability is also useful for intelligence gathering by sprouting eyes or ears in distant or hidden locations. Over time, the user can generate up to 1,000 body parts at once, even combining them into massive limbs. They can also create a full-body clone capable of independent action. However, the fruit has a major weakness. Any damage dealt to the sprouted body parts is transferred back to the user's real body. This makes them especially vulnerable to attacks that rely on direct contact or other devil fruit abilities. The wax fruit allows the user to produce and shape endless streams of candle wax. This wax can be molded into armor, weapons, or traps, effectively turning the user into a versatile candle human. The user can generate wax directly from their body and shape it into any form they wish. Once hardened, the wax becomes as strong as steel. It also shows resistance to certain acids and external pressure. However, hardened wax can still be broken when struck by another hardened wax structure, causing both to crumble. Despite its durability, the wax has a critical weakness. It melts when exposed to fire or high heat. Because of this, hot environments can significantly weaken the user. The sand fruit grants total mastery over sand. The user can create, control, and become sand itself, turning their body into swirling grains of desert. Like most Logia-type devil fruits in One Piece, the user can let physical attacks pass through their body unless infused with haki, making them extremely difficult to damage. The user can also fly by transforming parts of their body into flowing sand, giving them high mobility and strong defensive control in battle. Offensively, they can shape sand into blades, launch large sandstorms over long distances, or create vortexes that trap enemies and drag them underground. These abilities become even stronger in desert environments, where natural sand can be absorbed and combined with the user's power to expand the scale of attacks. A unique ability of this fruit is dehydration. The user can absorb moisture from anything they touch, drying out living beings, plants, or even terrain itself. In extreme cases, this can turn solid matter into sand for further manipulation. The user can also sense hidden elements like underground water sources and use them to create traps such as quicksand. However, the fruit has a critical weakness. Contact with liquids, such as water or blood, causes the sand to solidify. This temporarily disables the user's intangibility and makes them vulnerable. The Munch fruit allows the user to eat anything, no matter how inedible it is, and later recreate what they consumed from their own body. This power turns the user into a living factory of endless consumption and creation. The user can stretch their mouth to enormous sizes and consume massive objects. Their teeth and digestive system are also enhanced, allowing them to eat things normally impossible to digest, such as weapons, metal, or even living beings. After consuming something, the user can transform parts of their body into whatever they have eaten. This allows them to create weapons for combat, or even combine materials to form entirely new objects. However, the fruit comes with a constant drawback. The user suffers from perpetual hunger that can never be fully satisfied. Chewy substances, such as rubber, are also harder to consume. Additionally, the user can only recreate items that were consumed within the last 24 hours. Anything older is permanently lost.